Welcome back to Badass Rich Exclusive, my people, and I may also post this on the House of Ajay. And I'm not going to be here long, and I always say that, but I got a lot of stuff to do, y'all, before I try to go get my nails done because I broke. I don't know how that happened, but it may just be the gel, but the nail under it just don't feel right either. And so I'm trying to go get my nails done. So, but I got some stuff to do before I do that. But I wanted to stop by and talk about the movie Us, okay, that I saw last night. Okay, I don't know if this was the first night that it opened, but I think it did, and a big group of us went, and we had a ball. It was just all family, and so. But anyway, I want to talk about the movie because I had no expectations. I had seen the preview, but really couldn't really make any sense of what it was supposed to be about and all of this. And I could be way off, but I'm going to give my take on what I think this movie was about. And I don't want to give any spoilers because I know a lot of people may not have seen the movie yet or whatever. Okay, but I got to tell some of the stuff and what I think it's about, because I watched the movie, it was a good movie and everything. It was totally a completely different theme, and there's another movie coming out that I can't wait to see, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But anyway, the other movie that's coming out, it has Octavia Spencer in it, okay, and it's called something like Ma or Mama or something, okay. It's so good. It has a completely original theme. It's gonna be a good movie. But anyway, back to the movie Us, okay. So anyway, we saw this last night, and I know I've seen a lot of people try to decode it, like through what they had seen of the trailers and through, the little bit that they had seen of it. And basically, if I think a person who was on the surface and seeing this on surface level would not really get, the deeper meaning in it. And then I might just be the one who's crazy, not, but who's seeing more into it than what it is, okay? So basically, it starts out with the white rabbit, okay? We know the white rabbit from, Alice in Wonderland, the rabbit that's taken us down this mental rabbit hole, the white rabbit that Neo was following in the Matrix. This is the white rabbit. So the movie starts off with the white rabbit, okay? And as it's focused on the white rabbit and the camera pans out, then you see all these other replicas of the white rabbit. Now, anybody else might have seen this as just a bunch of rabbits, okay? But for me, I felt like it was these were clones of the same rabbit, okay? And there was a couple that were different, okay? But they were still clones. Like, some of them came out right, some of them didn't come out quite exactly the same, and all of this, okay? But there was only one original rabbit, okay? So this is my take on it, okay? So anyway, then it starts out in the year, I believe it was 86, okay, 1986. The black family was at a beach, a fair or whatever, and so they were at a fair, okay, and the little girl, I remember the mom talking about the little girl being because basically the father had won a prize, which happens to be playing one of the games at the fair, and it happened to be a Thriller t-shirt from Michael Jackson Thriller, his Thriller video, okay. And so the mom, had mentioned how the Thriller, she hopes that shirt didn't give her nightmares or something like that, because the video had scared her or whatever. So she was wearing the Thriller t-shirt, okay, as she wanders into this house of mirrors, okay, which above this door says "Find yourself." There's a lot of other stuff that happens as she's wandering towards the house of mirrors. One of the things was that she passed this man that was holding up a sign that said Jeremiah 11:11, okay, and that would be the same 11:11 that I have tatted on my wrist, okay. So anyway, it was about. So, all of these things just seem to be weird. Like, it seemed like her whole reality changed when she basically put on that t-shirt, okay? So she wandered into this house of mirrors, and as she gets in there, she kind of gets lost like everybody does, because there's mirrors all around you. You don't know if this is the door out or whatever. so, of course, she sees her reflection in one of the mirrors. And, well, basically, she backs into a mirror, okay? And as she turns around, it's a mirror behind her. But what she's looking at is her own reflect, like the back of her own head had not turned around, okay? And so she's looking at the back of her own head, and then slowly the reflection turns around, and it's her with this like real sinister smile on her face. So it's basically she's looking at a copy of herself that has a completely different vibe about it, okay? And so, of course, this scares the hell out of her. And she runs out of some kind of way, finds her way out of the house of mirrors, and she runs out. So the next scene they go to, they're in basically a counseling session where her parents are talking to a psychologist about her, and she's playing. And her parents are talking about how she hasn't been the same since she had went into the house of mirrors or whatever. And so she hadn't been the same since she went into the house of mirrors. And so she was just listening to them have the conversation, and basically they had said that she hadn't even really talked since she had been in the house of mirrors. Now I don't know how much time had passed. She was still a little girl, but it basically had changed her forever. Okay, so then it goes to Lupita, who really was looking like Erica Anderson in the movie to me. Erica Anderson from the Cosby Show, Living Single, but it was Lupita, okay? And anyway, so when they're grown, she has her own children, she's grown, you know what I'm saying? And basically her and her husband and family are headed back to this beach house that they own, which was where she used to live or whatever when, her and her parents had, basically all the stuff had happened at the fair. So basically it was the same beach, okay, that they were going back to, and she really didn't want to go. She had high anxiety about it, and she kept seeing 1111, okay? And I think she even saw that very same man she had saw as a little girl holding the damn sign or whatever. It was something like that going on, okay? So basically a bunch of synchronicities, you know what I'm saying? And anyone who lives a spiritual life, when things like this are happening. There's a lot of signs that you will see that will be pointing to you in the same direction or giving you the same answer, okay? It's so blatant and obvious that you can't but help to pay attention to it if in fact you can see, okay? And so she was in that kind of vibe where she was seeing all these synchronicities. She really wasn't telling anybody what she was seeing, what she was feeling. So basically, I don't want to ramble on and make it too long, you guys, but so anyway, while they're there, all of this stuff happens, and she eventually just tells her husband because the anxiety is getting too much for her. And she told him about the experience she had in the house of mirrors. And of course she did sound a little crazy, just like anybody would, you know what I'm saying? And my hair is wet, you guys. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done this morning because I got stuff to do, so I washed my hair as soon as I got up. And also, I don't want to get off the subject. I am going to come back, but I do owe 2 people a reading. Now, one of them just paid for yours last night, so we're on point. I'm going to get you later on like we planned. But one of my people has been waiting for your reading, probably for about 4 or 5 days, which I hardly ever make people wait that long. So shout out to you if you happen to see this. I am going to do your reading today, but I'm also going to throw in you a free reading for waiting so long, because my policy is that I will get your reading to you within 24 hours, okay? And even though this particular client did say she didn't mind if she had to wait midweek, that's not how I roll, that's not how I move. And so because I have been going hard for my other clients, which shout out to y'all too, the great report that I got this morning. So it was all worth it. But for the one who has waited, and I know you didn't mind, hon, the fact that you've been so patient and understanding, I am going to throw you in a free reading. So I'll get yours done today, and then I owe you one. So how about that? That just makes me feel better. Now back to the story, y'all. So the girl, so she's grown. She's having anxiety at this beach house that they're at. And she basically tells her husband about what happened. He kind of thought she was crazy. He wanted to believe her, but the story was just kind of crazy. I mean, you're in a house of mirrors. You see a reflection of yourself, and she starts chasing you and shit like that. So, of course you're going to think you're in a house of mirrors. You're a kid, he didn't really believe it. And so, but she kept saying she was seeing 1111, and that she felt like that he was telling him that girl was trying to, that other part of herself that other version of herself was like coming for her and was going to get closer. Okay, so shortly after that, and of course, he didn't really believe her, but he was trying to be supportive or whatever. And basically, it was shortly after that you could see the scene where the whole family. Oh, I am parking. Okay, so um, okay, so yeah, so then you see the scene where there's a whole other family standing in their driveway. Shortly after she tells him she thinks this replica of herself is trying to come and get her, she sees they look outside and there's a whole family in their driveway. And the closer, the more and more they look at the family, they see that they are all replicas of their family. Okay, and so, it just made me remember a lot because I researched a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And I listened to a lot of things on YouTube. Now, I do know that cloning is real, it exists. They have been cloning humans for a long time. And especially celebrities. Like a lot of celebrities have several clones of themselves. And, if we use our eyes, our real eyes, we'll be able to see these things. I mean, it's obvious to some people. But anyway, it reminded me of this man. He was a black man, just, everyday man. He's not a celebrity. And he was telling his story about he knew that his whole family had been replaced by clones. But anyway, that's what I felt like it was about, like the cloning, because they were talking about how some people, it's like, what was I trying to say? There was something that they said in the movie that was basically like, some of the clones, some people have souls. Basically, this is the understanding I get, and this is what it feels like, okay? Some people have souls, like those who are born of the spirit. And, some people don't. Those who are born of the flesh, these are empty vessels. These are shells. And they may be made in the replica of someone else. And I do believe that some people's family members and some people have been replaced, not just celebrities, okay? A lot of people, especially if your family has been involved in any sort of thing that was connected to the military on any level, the CIA and all this type of stuff, people have been replaced. And, there are people who are real people who have narcissistic tendencies, but I do believe that those who are complete, because people who have narcissistic tendencies, if you search deep enough, you will still find some humanity in there, some compassion, some feeling, you know what I'm saying? Some ability to still feel. The people who I feel are these empty vessels that he was basically trying to tell us about, and these copies, replicas of people, they do not have souls, because when the Most High creates a person, the Most High puts a spark of, himself, the God and Goddess within you. And when these people are man-made, they're created in labs. They're literally, what I'm saying, just empty shells, empty vessels. These people do not have souls. They do not have God, which is why they do not have the ability to love or care or have any compassion. Okay, and I think he was trying to warn us because it was basically a lot of the stuff was like under, the facility where they would follow. I forget how they ended up in the, the clone. Okay, when the girl, because basically when the girl got to talk to, as she was grown, she talked to her shadow self. That's what the clone basically referred to themselves as like the shadow. We're your shadow. And it is, but it's basically like, because that's all that a clone of a person could be, is a mere shadow of that person, a shell, a replica. But what makes that person, the part of that person that you would love, the part of that person that would be eternal, the part of you that does not die, that's what's missing from the person. So understand that it's the spirit of the person that we love, that we connect with, that we feel, that we make that connection with. And these people were just shadows of the real people, because they were angry because they never got to have real experiences like the real people. The shadow of Lupita's character basically was angry at her because she never got to really feel the sun on her. That when Lupita got the toys and stuff as a child, because she felt like she was always her shadow. I'm a copy of you, okay? My toys, imagine what a shadow's toys would feel like. she said that your toys were soft and comforting and plush, and my toys were so sharp that they would cut my fingers when I tried to play with them. Okay, and so I'm just the deeper significance of what is being said here. Okay, and on so many different levels, there are people who are but copies of the original on different levels. If you can feel me, I mean, I'm talking about man-made people who have been cloned and made by people, and also a whole and races of people who are but copies of the original and are angry because of it. Okay. Good morning, Angela. So y'all, I'm about to try to see if I can get my car detail before I go get my stuff done. But anyway, listen. So this is because it's deep, y'all. I'm gonna come back and talk about this some more. But basically, these shadows were they called themselves shadows. I think they were clones. They could have been both. They represent a large portion of our society. Basically, they're angry because they are but a copy of the original, and they envy the things that the original are able to feel. We're able to dance, we're able to feel the music versus just hear the music. We're able to, actually absorb the sun versus reflect the sun. Okay, and there's a people who are clones, and there are people who feel that they are copies of the original. Okay, and they're angry. They are, they want revenge. They want to snatch your body. They want to replace you. Okay, and this is the deeper meaning. And basically, when I really do believe these cloning centers. I know that they exist. Okay, I can't. There's a glare on me, y'all. The sun is right on me, so I cannot see the chat right now. But I am gonna come back later and talk about this with you guys. Basically, I feel like these people were cloned. The white rabbits were being followed down. Basically, I know I'm rambling because I'm trying to remember the stuff, y'all. But basically when she grew up, her clone streak showed her that when she had gone into that house of mirrors as a child, that she had come up from where they reside, which is very deep underground, several miles underground. And that's where all the white rabbits were, which represented the cloning center. Okay, several miles underground, and they experienced like a blueprint, a false version of what we experience in life. I remember the clone telling her that if it hadn't been for her, Lucida, her character, that liked to dance, they would never have gotten to dance, which reminded me of when I was young. Okay, all growing up, because the house we lived in, the dining room light would cast a shadow on the front door. So I would always turn the music on, and I would dance and watch my shadow dance and watch my form. Okay, so she was my friend. So I totally get the concept. Okay, but this is deeper than just as if they are but a copy of someone else. Okay, so I'm going to go deeper into it. The movie was brilliant. There was deeper meanings in it. But if a person only has the set of eyes, the eyes that come with the, you're not going to see anything other than a movie that really has a lot of cliches in it, like other movies. You know what I'm saying? But I saw the deeper meaning as something that you would have to be able to feel rather than see. But this was what it was. To me, this was my take on it. Okay, and I may have been all over the place with it, but basically, there were cloning. They're basically telling you that there are cloning centers miles underground. Okay, and that sometimes real people, have been replaced by these artificial people. Okay, so the people who were born of the spirit are being replaced by people who were born of the flesh, which means that people who were made by the Most High God are being replaced by people who were made by men. Okay, and the way that you're going to be able to tell the difference, which is all relates back to my dream, which is why all these things are significant to me, is because all these people were possessed by something other than the spirit of the Most High, and they didn't know it. Okay, and this is what and so I've seen real videos of real people on YouTube and in other places who literally have said, and one of them in particular was a black man who had or the people he knew had been in the military, something, and he knew for a fact, he was saying this was his own family, he knew for a fact had been replaced, that they were all clones. Okay? So I want y'all guys, you to really be able to try to wrap your mind around this, okay? Because again, a lot of people probably will have their take on the movie, but I wanted to come and give mine because this is what I got from it. Not only him, there's a lot of they clone. Okay, I hope the reason why I want to talk about this is because I believe I know a person personally who was replaced by one of these shadows, these clones. Personally, this person was involved in the military. It made this person make sense, okay? Because the person acts and feels like a mere shadow of a person, of who they were or who they were supposed to be. I'm not going to tell too much, but the person never really met their